the checkered flag of victory for Bill Holland, his first win in the 500-mile Memorial Day race at Indianapolis. Of course, this kind of congratulations from Linda Darnell, glamorous movie star, isn't too hard to take either. It's a great day, too, for Lou Moore, master mechanic who owns and built the winning car. But to Moore, this great record-breaking race wasn't won just here today at Indianapolis. Its winning began a year ago, 2,000 miles away in North Hollywood, California, in the modest shop where Lou puts together his prize-winning cars and prepares them for the track. Inside, there's nothing fancy or pretentious, but two things about the place are obvious. First, it's completely equipped with everything needed for the work to be done. And second, it's kept clean and neat as a pin. Lou Moore has his own reasons for that. Maybe you'd like to hear them.
Well, I found out a long time ago that having the right tools makes any job easier, no matter what it might be. After all, a racing game is no different than any other. The fellow who plans ahead and does the best job of preparation usually comes out on top.
What do you figure we have to shoot at for the next race?
Well, I'd say about 122 miles an hour.
It takes quite an automobile to do that. A lot different kind of automobile than the family car, good as it may be. To begin with, it takes power, plenty of power. And here's an engine that really turns it out. Better than 350 horsepower at 5,500 revolutions a minute. Yet, in piston displacement, it's only a little larger than a Ford or Chevrolet. Don't let the shape fool you. This isn't a V-type engine, it's only a four-cylinder job. When you and I are driving, we generally like more than four cylinders for quiet, smooth operation, especially when we're rolling along slowly through traffic. But a racing driver, like Bill Holland, doesn't worry about smooth, quiet, low-speed performance. After starting, he's only interested in high-speed performance, sustained high-speed performance for 500 miles in the case of the Indianapolis race. That's one big reason why Lou Moore uses four-cylinder engines in his cars. The fewer the cylinders, the fewer moving parts there are that can cause trouble and cause failure to finish the full distance. And four-cylinder engines have won 15 out of 33 Indianapolis 500-mile races. As with other high-output racing cars, in this engine, the camshafts, as well as the valves, are of the overhead type. As shown by this end view of the interior, it provides a combustion chamber of extremely efficient shape. One that is nearly semi-spherical, offering less surface area for heat transfer, which means more heat or energy put to work instead of being wasted. The spark plug is centered directly over the combustion chamber. This design also provides greater area for valves and makes possible high compression ratios without restricted breathing. The cylinder can breathe in its fuel charge and breathe out its exhaust gases very quickly and efficiently, which is essential to get a lot of power out of a small engine. Also essential is a high compression ratio. In this case, around 14 to 1, more than double that of the average car engine. Since the cylinder bore and the length of the stroke are almost equal, this is called a square engine. The tremendous pressure and wiping action between the cams and the valve cups creates an extremely severe lubrication problem. Compared to those of the average car, the valves are far larger, and there are 2 intake and 2 exhaust valves for each cylinder. And that's to get in a lot of fuel-air mixture and to get out exhaust gases in a hurry. To eliminate gasket trouble, the cylinder head and block are cast in one piece, a simple but expensive type of design. As compared to a regular piston, the skirts are very short to reduce weight and friction as much as possible. Also, the piston must be recessed because of the unusual valve timing. Each piston is fitted with 2 compression rings and 1 oil control ring. Bearing pressures, as on connecting rod bearings, are extremely high, 4 times those of regular cars. In addition, the fact that these bearings are copper lead calls for an oil that provides maximum protection against corrosion. The crankshaft, like other parts, is very compact and extremely rigid because of the conditions under which it operates. It is supported by 5 main bearings. The crankshaft must be removed through one end of the barrel-type crankcase, which has no bottom opening. The crankshaft is balanced to an unusually fine degree, which calls for machining to very close tolerances. Notice that with the engine mounted on the chassis, there is no fan. High road speed makes this unit unnecessary. For steering, there is a separate drag link for each wheel. No tie rod between the wheels. The steering action, as on all racing cars, is much faster too. In a regular car, usually there's plenty of time to take a curve. We can turn the wheel quite a bit, taking a corner. Steering is very easy. It's a lot harder for a race driver. When he takes a corner, he has to take it fast. There's no time for a long, easy swing of the steering wheel. In this car, the engine is mounted backwards because, again, unlike the average car, the engine's power is linked to the front wheels instead of the rear. This unit was designed by Lou Moore. While the gears are about the same size as a regular car, they have to run at double the speed and transmit 4 times the horsepower. One advantage of front drive is more room and comfort for the driver. No space is taken up, as in a rear drive car, with a gearbox and drive shaft, which are also a lot hotter on the driver's legs and feet. However, the most important reason for front-wheel drive is that it gives better traction and directional stability, so that, on the curves, a car is easier to handle and can maintain a higher rate of speed. Even so, after hitting top speed on the straightaway, a car may have to be slowed down considerably for a curve or in an emergency. So good brakes are important. Those on the front end of this car are on the differential housing instead of the wheels, which means less weight on the wheels or less unsprung weight. Less unsprung weight enables the wheels to follow the contour of the track more closely. The extremely bumpy condition of parts of the track makes good spring action a must to maintain good traction and to reduce vibration and road shock as much as possible. Otherwise, a car traveling at high speed might tear itself apart. There is no conventional coil or leaf spring on the front end of Moore's cars. Instead, he uses a torsion bar, in which springing is accomplished by the twisting action of this long metal bar. The chassis, Lou Moore's own design, is both light and strong, rigidly braced for extra strength because of the roughness of the Indianapolis track. As with all Indianapolis racers, the tires used are large for a car that only weighs 1,750 pounds. At that, they only allow little more than 5 inches of clearance between car and road surface. The bigger the tire, the more ground covered per revolution. Fewer revolutions per mile mean less tire wear. But to turn such big tires fast enough takes a high-power engine. Assembling that engine and car for Indianapolis calls for plenty of careful preparation. Nobody knows better than Lou Moore the many things that can happen in a 500-mile race. A car suddenly spins out of control, and in a flash, there's a disastrous pileup. The inner and outer retaining walls of the track are chipped and scarred from the sickening crashes of many racers. Driving gets more dangerous as the track becomes more and more slippery. A man like Lou Moore doesn't have to be a prophet to know what can happen in the next race. He's seen it all happen before. A veteran Indianapolis driver himself, Moore goes over all the details with the man who will sit behind the wheel of car number 7. Months before race day, Bill Holland pays a visit to the shop so that Lou can get his ideas on what might be done for the next Indianapolis meet. The work goes on for days, weeks, months. Careful, accurate, painstaking work. Gauging shafts for trueness and size. Polishing ports and manifolding for smooth, even flow of the fuel-air mixture into the cylinders. Checking the fit of rods and bearings to be sure such parts match perfectly. Checking all joints, such as camshaft covers, for absolute oil tightness. Time goes by, and there's another visit by Holland. Another checkup between car builder and driver to be sure no detail is overlooked. Then more work, more checking and rechecking. On both carburetors, all adjustments come under Moore's critical eye. Bolts are not only tightened, they're wired together to be sure they'll stay in place during the race. Wheel splines get special attention because speedy wheel changing is vital at Indianapolis whenever tires have to be replaced. The spline is sprinkled liberally with graphite, which acts as a lubricant, so that a wheel can be slipped on or off in a hurry. Another time saver is the use of a single hub nut, which also serves as a cap. There's never too much time for the job the way it's done here. In a race that's noted for the fine workmanship on the cars entered, for precision adjusting and tuning, Lou Moore's cars have always had an outstanding reputation. This one was bound to be in tip-top shape before it was sent on its way to the one race it runs in all year. The one race for which it was planned and built, the 500-mile grind at Indianapolis. Here's a familiar sight to thousands of Americans, the main entrance to the famous Indianapolis Speedway. How would you like to take a trip around the track itself? Our chauffeur is one of the best, a man who really knows his way around this oval. He's Will Bashaw, a three-time winner of the 500-mile race, and now president of the Speedway. Our speed will be 75 miles an hour, and Shaw is going to follow the same pattern he used when racing, and which is still followed by today's drivers. Heading south past the main grandstand, we shoot down toward the inside of the track as we come into the southwest turn. Along the short south stretch, we climb back toward the outside on the way to the next corner, the southeast turn. At this point, a race driver starts down to the inside again to pick up speed going north on the backstretch. Up ahead is a small footbridge from which traffic signals are flashed to the drivers when necessary. The white pole coming at you on the right is a warning to slow down for the dangerous northeast turn. The backstretch is where the fastest time is made during the race, as high as 175 miles an hour, in fact. We're coming into the corner at 75 miles an hour. Imagine taking it at 130 or more. Now for the short north stretch before swinging into the last turn. And here we are, straightened away for the home stretch, headed for the finish line. Right now, it's still a long way to race day, but mechanics already are at work and making every minute count. Originally, this little service station served as a jail. Now, for a short season, it is fuel and lubricant headquarters for the country's finest racing cars. To the owners of cars like these, there's too much at stake to take chances on the quality of petroleum products. Nothing but the very finest, proven by actual test in this great race, is good enough. The maximum number of cars permitted to start the race is only 33. Usually, there are at least twice that many cars brought to the track. And as the qualification trials draw near, tension begins to mount. There's even a gamble with cars whose past performance stamps them as sure contenders. Nothing can be taken for granted at Indianapolis, and competition for qualification is, if possible, greater than during the race itself. All three of Lou Moore's cars, number 3, number 7, and number 22, are among the earliest arrivals at the track, and all are favored to make the grade. Start of the speed trials to select the qualifying cars fills the pits with car owners, mechanics, and drivers. Every car that rolls onto the track for its trial run is eyed closely and its chances to qualify expertly calculated. Holland in number 7 makes the 4th fastest time to earn one of the favored starting positions. All along pit row, stopwatches are out and clicking off the speeds of different cars. As each car starts its run, uppermost in the minds of its owner, driver, and crew is the worry that its speed, no matter how good, may be exceeded by a later contestant. Time and again at Indianapolis, a starting place that apparently has been clinched is lost by only a second or two to another car. For more than half of all the cars brought to the track, the qualification trial is the end of the road, a heartbreaking climax to a whole year of planning, working, hoping, sweating. Small wonder that in the world of racing, just to qualify for the 500 stamps a car as something special. Then on race day -1 comes the annual meeting when drivers, car owners, and pit crew members get final instructions from race officials. Long before race day, there's plenty of activity outside as well as inside the track. Days before the gates open, West 16th Street, which leads to the Speedway, is lined with cars parked 3 abreast for a full mile south of the track. Race enthusiasts camp out while waiting for the start of the great event. Sleep in their cars, tents, or just under blankets. Cook their meals out in the open, too. A carnival setup stretches for blocks in both directions, across the street from the main Speedway entrance. There's a land office business in soft drinks, popcorn, hot dogs, peanuts, sunglasses, canes, and other souvenirs. Finally, the gates swing open and the people start pouring in. The big day has arrived, and sports-loving America is on hand to witness 4 hours of thrill-packed action. As if by magic, stands that have been empty for a whole year suddenly are filled to overflowing as the crowds begin to enter the grounds. Motorists head into the free parking areas in the infield. In no time at all, it becomes a sea of parked cars. For a better view of the race, a number of spectators rig special platforms that raise them high over the heads of less ingenious fans, some of whom wonder about the strength of such contraptions. The annual 500-mile race draws the biggest crowd of any event in the country, better than 150,000 people. Up the straightaway past the main grandstands marches the band of Purdue University. tension mounts higher and higher, last-minute adjustments, and the murmur starts to move slowly through the stands. The cars are rolled to the starting line, each lined up according to the position it has won in the qualification trials. The pace car rolls out onto the track and heads for the starting line to take its place. Up in the pagoda, the race officials check the positions of all the cars entered in the event. Then the pace car moves off, and the low-slung, sleek racers follow slowly after. There's no need for speed yet. Each car must stay in place. Past the main grandstands and on into the southwest turn they roll, a parade of America's finest, fastest racing cars and drivers. And here they come, heading for the starting line at 90 miles an hour. But for the start of the race, let's listen to a man who really has his heart and soul wrapped up in it, Lou Moore.
I still get a kick out of watching the boys hit the south turn on the first lap. And I've either been in or seen the start of every race since 1928. This year, the pace is mighty fast, right from the start. None of my cars, I have 3 in the race, number 7, number 3, and number 22, is out in front yet. But that doesn't bother me. This is a 500-mile race, and that's a long way to go.
Okay, now let's see how Lou's cars make out as the grind goes on. At the 100-mile mark, Bill Holland in number 7 is in 3rd place. Maury Rose in number 3 is in 5th place, and George Connor in number 22 is right behind Rose. 6 of the 32 starters already have dropped out. Average speed so far is a little over 120 miles an hour. Holland is in 1st place, Rose is 3rd, and Connor is 4th. Moore has his fingers crossed and wonders if there is anything about this rabbit's foot business. Point, number 7 still holds the lead. Rose is 2nd and Connor is 4th. The pace sets a new record, but it's also taking its toll. By now, the field is narrowed down to only 20 cars. On the 148th lap, Holland pulls into the pit. Moore starts doing a quick change job on the front tires. The boys get busy pumping in fuel while he's working. Holland doesn't even climb out of the car. He has about a minute lead on the car that's running 2nd, and he doesn't want to lose it. It seems like forever getting those tires changed. Here's where many a race has been lost, in the pits, and Moore doesn't want it to happen now. Finally, the job is finished in 52 seconds, and Holland is off again before the second-place car appears in sight. At a little over 400 miles, Lou Moore's cars are really on top. Holland first, Rose second, and Connor third. But the luck doesn't hold. With less than 15 miles to go, the magneto strap on number 3 lets go, and Rose is out of the race. However, Connor holds third place, and here comes the checkered flag for Holland, the winner. Yes, it's a great day for Bill Holland as he waves happily to the cheering crowds. There's no greater thrill than driving into the winner's circle for the tremendous, exciting ovation accorded to the victor of a 500-mile race. And for Lou Moore, it's back to the shop in North Hollywood, California. The start of another year of planning and preparation, of striving for a little more of that extra performance that stands behind the checkered flag of victory.